and they're trying to help out small businesses. And I said, well, you dovetail nicely what's going on in the Midwest, and I'd like to, share it with Alan and some other ecosystems to try to help people out. Sometimes they've gotten a little bit of funding lines, but they don't have the team, they don't have the marketing, they don't have the big structures that a lot of the companies have to make it easy to make them successful. And so to me, it's kind of like the Techstars model. You give a little bit and they can flourish them across the domain, so to speak. So I showed it to Alan, and Alan, did you send that out to everybody, or?
Well, I don't think you sent anything to me. We talked about it.
I just got one this morning that got approved. Okay. I can send that to you. I don't want to lose you here, but I will try to. Let's see.
Well, if you'll, Tim, what I was going to say, if you can send it to me, I want to make sure to get it to Laurie Pieper too, because Laurie and Carl are working out of the Bright Center, and what you missed, we talked a little bit earlier, and then you caught some of it just now. This is perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. So, or part of what we're looking for. So it's exciting. So yeah, we definitely want to connect that.
Yeah, it's kind of a pilot program for them, and so they said, run it through me, run it through you, and have them, and let's just see if it works, and take one stepchild and go, let's make it happen. So
cool.
I can send 5 up and see how it helps out, and they're very helpful. They want to see people win, and at the end of the day, if some of these help out the nation, the warfighter, middle America, great.
Excellent. Did you say the name of them? They have
a Sequence with a large C, under Mike Castling.
I need to
Kaplan.
I need to bail for another call at the bottom of the hour, but thanks for letting me crash the party and meet everybody. And I love lunch and learns, and I love networking. So I'm hoping that I can be invited to future ones and listen in. But great to hear all the updates, and thanks for letting me gate crash.
Kevin, what I'm going to encourage. I was going to say, I'm going to encourage you to come back, and I think one of the things we're going to do is start doing a little bit of an interwoven pitch, a little bit of who I am and here's what I've got going, here's what my need or what I'm looking for. So please come back, and yeah, that's one of the things we want to do.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
You bet. Take care.
Oh yeah. Bye.
So yeah, with Tim, that'll be great if you could send that out, because that's one of the things we mentioned it earlier, but I really didn't have enough information to feel like I could do it justice. I will say we're at 12:30. I want to make sure I mention what we are doing with our primes NASA focus. Rick did call earlier, and he said things are going well. He managed to talk to his old boss at Johnson Space Center, and they are very excited about what we're doing, because it sounds like they don't have anybody doing it right now with what Rick was doing. So they're going to get back with Rick next week, and we're going to see we're planning a matchmaker, which for those that don't know, if you've not been to a matchmaker event, this one will be, I would say it'll be more like a matchmaker with an encountering innovation twist to it. For those that know our encountering innovation plan, what we'll do is we'll prep the clients very specifically to the matchmaker. The idea is not a host, invite a bunch of primes and set up a calendar and everybody click and do speed dating without any input. That's not what we're planning at all. The matchmaker will be very specific with prep and attracting clients and getting them ready to do the matchmaking and what the primes are looking for. Rick has a very good reputation with the primes, which is what makes this so good, because he's worked with these 15 primes for quite a while now, and he comes from a technical background, and so they respect his science knowledge that makes it work well for them. And then he's been good at working with the businesses. So we will be bringing that to you coming in March, the second week in March. When we do that, we'll do an outreach to our August 2019 event that the governor had, Governor Kelly had where we had quite a few up there in Lawrence. Is that right? I always get mixed up where we were. I think we're at KU. Tim says he just sent the PDF. So for those that want that information, Laurie, I'll make sure to get that to you and Carl, and then we'll start seeing what we can do. And I know Ann was shaking her head early, like, yeah, I'm interested. So we will. What I'd like to do is see if we could get to learn what they're doing and how they're doing it, and if it makes sense to have them come speak to a medical group and do an outreach for all of our medical folks. That would be fun to watch happen.
I'll bring that up with Lou after you look it over and say, yes, thumbs up.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Tim. I do appreciate you joining us and telling us about that. That is exciting. So that's basically what's happening on our primes. We're going to call it our primes track. We're focusing specifically on our NASA to begin with, because we want to do just what we talked about with our matchmaking. We want to be very specific on our assistance, so that it's effective. We're trying to, this year, our second and third tracks, which is why we're slow in launching this. Our priority is different than it has been in the past in certain ways. Our focus on our primes and our sole source contracting, which is what our third one is. We've been calling it an SBIR phase 3. I don't think most people understand that. So we've, through Laurie Moncrieff giving input saying, why don't we change the name? And that way we can broaden it as well. So we're calling it sole source contracting. We did have another meeting with Mike Shirley, who presented to us last year, and to misery, in the spirit of misery loving company or ignorance loving someone else to show up with them. Rick Slater was with me with Mike Shirley. And after I had specific questions to ask, because I thought, now that I wanted to go sell this opportunity and bring people to the table, I had certain concerns and wasn't sure about certain things. Now I have a much better understanding of the sole source contracting. So as far as what FTI does in particular, I did ask Laurie about Laurie Moncrieff. I did ask them about, do they have competition or allies? And he said, really, it's more of allies. He said, for what we're doing, he said, our focus is on the SBIR activity we've had in the past. They've had 160 SBIR phase 1 and 2s. And he said, there are other organizations or companies similar to us that have other focus, other SBIRs, so they're trying to do some of the same thing. And then Laurie Moncrieff is working on other sole source contract opportunities. So the point is, and the reason why these have been somewhat slow in coming, is we are trying to focus on what I'm going to call live case study training in the NASA primes or primes/NASA. And then in sole source contracting. What we want to do is do a matchmaker with our clientele early, and then put them through that process and exercise it, learn it, make it happen, get some commercialization successes, and then bring those to our SBDC advisor group, to Jack Harwell, who's here, to Laurie Pieper, to Tom Byler, that you know, and some of the others. So what we're trying to do is go by our success and what we're learning, not just take it up at 30,000 foot level and give you all these opportunities and then wish you luck. And we've done that. We tried some of that. Not that it's bad. It's better than not doing anything, but we're trying to come down, and instead of just tell everybody everything, we're trying to be very specific and help those that fit the match, which goes back to then our survey. We sent the survey out. We've got survey responses. I am now tasked with going back and reaching out to all of you that have filled out that survey. I'm going to send you an email, and then see if we can get about a 15-minute conversation where I can reach out to you and go through the scorecard that we're using to work with Laurie Moncrieff, as well as what we're learning with Rick on NASA. So that's basically what we're doing. I don't think I've missed anything. Carl said he was going dark for a few minutes, but still hanging on. Anyone else have stuff that you want to talk about that and I do want, in the spirit of networking, Laurie Pieper, meet Jim Wilkinson. Jim, Laurie is the one who's doing with the Bright Center, and she's got some IP stuff. Jim's the one that we were talking about a while ago that we said has multiple patents. So he was bringing up some very, from the perspective of the small business person. So you guys might want to connect up well. He's a good one for you to have as a example from the small business world.
Thanks. And Laurie Moncrieff has her hand up.
Okay. Yes.
Been up forever. Patient. I wanted to tell you a couple of things. There are some new investment mechanisms that I can't speak to yet. I'm getting it sent over today. I've been working with some companies on commercializing products and getting investment. I actually just signed a licensing agreement myself, which is kind of exciting because I'd never really fully licensed anything before. And I got all the way through a process a couple of weeks ago. And it's been kind of cool because I got to learn some, even more myself. But the interesting thing, Laurie, that I wanted to bring to your attention that you may or may not be aware of is that 2.3 trillion was just allotted for Defense Production Act around U.S. medical COVID related products. And I'm on the phone today at 2:30 with the guy that's heading that up, basically. And I want to see where they're at. And I want to make sure we stay really engaged with what they're rolling out and the way we can get U.S. medical based companies from our area, like right at the front of the line. So hopefully I'll get some information today on that.
Great. I have someone I'd love to share it with.
Yeah. And as far as the investment part with you and Jack, I'm learning about a lot of things, and my network's getting bigger with those investment resources and people. So when you start wanting to get some information, I'll do a brain dump on what I've kind of figured out.
Great. One of the things that we just launched our website this week, and we have a resources page on it, of course. One of the things that I'm trying to include on the resources page is places where there are venture capital pitch competitions, so that people can have that information in one place. So we've got a medical group out of Louisville I want to connect you with. I connected Alan, Jackie Wilmot Allen, that we've been on a conference call with. I think I'll circle back around with Laurie Pieper and get her connected with Jackie. They have an investment fund and they're a medical accelerator. Great, thank you.
Laurie Pieper, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, my ears perked up when you're talking about the export. We have our first export shipment going out on Monday, maybe Tuesday.
Congratulations.
So thanks. So I want to plug in and learn some more from you about that, so I don't get caught with my pants down or whatever, So
yeah, I'd be happy to talk with you.
Yeah.
You just look down the beach. So, she's right there by you.
Well, I was going to say, let's just meet up on the beach for lunch, 10 minutes or so.
Sounds good.
The rock outcropping out there behind you. I'll meet you out there in about 20 minutes. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah. You guys don't know how appropriate my screen was today. They've dropped 3 huge bombs within the last 10 minutes. And it was a good thing I was on mute because my whole house shook. I'm right at the edge of the bombing range.
Oh,
holy crap. Those were the biggest bombs I've heard.
Literally bombs.
Yeah, bombs. I'm right on the edge of the range. Man, I haven't had my doors and windows shake in a while, but they just did. So
I live in on the northern side of Manhattan, and Fort Riley has been going to town with the artillery lately.
Wow. Wow.
Usually we know something's up when the bombs are really active.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing some pretty intense
Somebody's making
training.
them mad right now. So,
Well, it did look like you're in some kind of a bunker command center, though.
I know. I was going to say, how appropriate is my background today? Because I'm the one who's really at the beach. I'm in a bunker right now. So
Nice.
Well, I'm done with my part. I'm glad you guys. I'm proud of what we're trying to establish with the Lunch and Learned, where people can start talking. I get. I don't know if you do, but I get focused and I try to get to working on what I'm dealing with, and I kind of have the blinders on, and so and then people tell me stuff, and it pours in, and then I think about it, and then if it doesn't stay in a proactive 5 or 10 minute opportunity, then it tends to fall off the page because we're also busy. So having this and Laurie talking and things like that happening, that's what we're talking about it. If we can make this to where this is normal, where I got to make sure I show up because I need to tell so-and-so, that kind of thing, hopefully this will start becoming successful on its own without whether there's content or not. And I don't mean that there's not content, but a delivered message to where we can start coming to the community, the innovator community hall, if you will, and talk about different things that are going on. But I'm finished with my part for the day. I'm going to go find that beach. I've actually got 2 grandsons here that I saw maybe a day, maybe 24 hours out of all of last year. So they're here, and so I'm going to go play and have fun with them for a while. We're actually putting a 500-piece puzzle together. I haven't done that in a long time.
Have fun.
Well,
Tim.
Sorry.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry,
Alan,
Jim. Give me just a second. Tim, did you see my email?
No, I just got out of my email. There.
Okay.
Let me
I
bring it
didn't
up.
get what you sent. I just wanted you to know. So
You didn't?
Yeah, so I'm guessing you may have sent it to my old email address.
I bet I did.
Unless you've deleted that one. It's Badgley at ksbdc.net.
Let me see if it comes up. There it is. I'll attach it right now again.
Yeah, and you might X out the other one if it's popping up.
All right,
it still happens.
I'll just call this Tim, and it's away it goes.
Okay, cool.
And
all right. Anyway, sorry, Jim.
Oh, that's okay. Business first. So you see the pile of debris down there at the bottom of the hill?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's actually mostly all cleaned up, and there's actually not any snow down there right now, but my grandkids are down. Some of my grandkids are down there working on building their fort with some of the debris that they scavenged from there. So yeah, my
Cool.
closest neighbor in the background there is like 5 miles. So it's not really a beach, although we do have water right down there. Where there's 2 lakes down there that you can see just beyond the debris field. The white, that's a frozen lake, frozen pond. So I don't know if it's a pond or a lake. I don't know. How do you tell the difference? There's water.
Yeah. I grew up on what we called a 3-acre spring-fed lake, and my wife tells me, no, that was a pond. And I'm like, okay, I swam in my pond, I swam in the lake, whatever. Anyway, so I'm Laurie, Pieper. Are you going to be here? If you're hanging on, I'll if I can, I'll figure out how to give you co-host capabilities. I'm going to stop the recording. I don't know that we need it. Do you want to?